Yuri cock. Starting this a bit early for the live stream. It's just that point where I've just sat around. It's all set up, and thought I'd just jump on, get it started. I'm not sure if we'll get anyone watching. Apparently, there's 2 people watching, but my StreamYard is only just showing 2 people watching. So it's a little bit better than me being late, and I need to remember that this is my main camera. I've got my MacBook here with all the details of the beers tonight. My thoughts exactly, Craig. G's early. But good evening, Craig. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yes, you probably shouldn't really be drinking after the weekend. Went to Liverpool, met up with Harry and Adam, and Sunday I pretty much died and then had to go home early. Hopefully I didn't make too much of a tit of myself in a Brewdog. Just all of a sudden I'm just like dead. I don't know what happened, to be fair. No, I'm pressing the wrong thing here. Head's not too bad, actually. Didn't feel too bad the next day, mainly because my drinking was cut short. But yeah, I just hope I didn't make a complete and utter twat of myself, which is, it's not uncommon, is it, really? Don't have to be drunk to make a twat of myself these days. Speaking of making a twat of myself, I've decided to come off Instagram for a little bit because I posted a story. Oh, the side of my stomach just made a sound. Yeah, so I've deactivated my Instagram because I'm just like, I just seem to be insulting people with my posts, and I don't like the idea of insulting people. Did Harry slip something in your drink? It wouldn't surprise me. Really wouldn't surprise me. Had a bit of a sore arse on Sunday morning. I don't know what happened there, but we won't get into that. But yeah, it almost did feel like someone put something in my drink. Getting drugged in Brewdog. What a story that'd be. Nah, I just think all of a sudden it just hit me, and yeah. There's a couple of videos flying around. I think they went live on one of the UK craft beer forums. I'm not playing that video with sound. Fucking hell. But yeah, it was a good time, actually, aside from having to cut it short. And good evening to you, young man. So, I've not done until a bitter end for a while. And on the Friday, before I got picked up, I decided to... Oh, Paul. I decided to pop into Booths in Ormskirk because there was a bus that goes right past it. So I thought that would be perfect. Get off in Ormskirk or get the bus to Southport and then get off at Booths. But I timed it completely incorrect because just before I was about to get the correct bus, I get a call from my boss at work saying that my team leader's tested positive for COVID. So that was fun. So I had to take a lateral flow. Obviously, I've double jabbed, so I don't have to isolate. But I thought, take a double jab just in case. Came back negative. Did one this morning, negative. I'm only back in work on Wednesday, so I'll be fine. So yeah, get to Ormskirk, and then I'm like, oh well, I've had to get the Ormskirk bus. And I was like, I have to wait 55 minutes to get the bus. I was like, fuck that. I'm not being stood in Ormskirk for 55 minutes with nothing to do. I mean, there's a few pubs there, some interesting boozers, but I was like, boozers, who the fuck am I? But I thought, do you know what? Now I'll be drinking tonight when I was in Liverpool in Harry's hotel room. So I thought, no, we'll be sensible. So I thought, do you know what? Looked at Google Maps, it's a 32-minute walk. Thought, fair dues. Walk itself wasn't too bad. It's just the fact that I had to come uphill on the way back with a bag full of beer. But yeah, picked some stuff up to take to Liverpool with me for a little sort of impromptu bottle share. But also picked up some stuff to just drink at home, including a couple of cans of Common Grounds and High Wire Grapefruit, because I love to support fascist dictatorships. and some other stuff. And while I was there, I'd forgotten that they've got a really good range of sort of like real ale stuff. And saw these two, and I thought, yep, I've got an idea for these. So here we are. Let's see. I just watched Dark Knight for about the 50th time. I've only ever watched that once, and I enjoyed it. The delights of the inadequacy of public transport outside Merseyside. Very true indeed. Well, to be honest, it was my fault really. I should have made the realization that it wouldn't be the same bus route, but it was a good walk, and beer's healthy. It took me back to when I was living in Germany, where I'd be going on like my bicycle. Yeah, can you imagine this fat bastard on a bike? Where I'd be just going on to these like little, beer supermarkets. And it was just a nice little walk, to be fair. Bursco. Popped into Lidl on the way back, so I thought, I could proper do with some nice pretzels. Didn't have any of the frozen ones, so that annoyed me. And so I picked up some nice looking beers. So I've got two bitters, as you can see by the thumbnail. And I've just realised this is actually a bit of an impromptu is it called Battle of the Roses? War of the Roses? Lancashire versus Yorkshire? I can't remember. I should know that, considering I was born and raised in Lancashire, and I'm still in Lancashire. Battle of the Roses, I think it was. Was it called that? I can't remember. I'm an idiot. So, representing Lancashire, we've got the Old School Brewery. And these guys are out of Carnforth, Wharton Craig. Never heard of it. I wouldn't even be able to tell you where Carnforth is. I've got a feeling it's like if you start heading towards the Lake District, War of the Roses, that's the one. If you had to start just before you get to Lancaster, I'm not too sure. Geography has never been my strong point, nor will it ever be my strong point. But so this is the Headmaster. Demands respect at all times. So this is a best bitter, clocking in at 4.5%. So the description on the label is a dark, strong best bitter. It mixes a complex multi-flavour with a black currant aroma, leaving a subtle, sweet, nutty aftertaste. And the food pairings for this beer are roast meats, sausages, mushrooms. I'd happily devour all that aside from the mushrooms. But yeah, proper trad looking label. Although I don't think they're like a really old sort of brewery. I just think they brew to sort of very traditional sort of standards. Don't think I've ever had anything from an old school brewery. But I think that it's because old school, obviously, they go for a sort of a teacher pupil school sort of theme throughout their beers. Carnforth is right at the top of the country, almost into Lake District. Okay, so my hazard of a guess wasn't too bad. And then representing those dirty, dirty Yorkshiremen, past Morecambe. Okay, thank you for that, Craig. I probably should have actually just researched that before I started. Use those few minutes before the stream was due to start. But yeah, representing those dirty Yorkshiremen with all their fancy posh hazy beers, we've got the Battleaxe from Rudgate, best bitter, malty nutty rich, 4.2% ABV. At Rudgate, we've always brewing award-winning beers for over 25 years, but we don't stop there. Our talented brewers continue to experiment and push the boundaries of brewing, producing innovative and tasty beers for our customers, old and new. Always great beer, always something new. Traditional best bitter, bittersweet with complex fruity flavours, keeping it nice and simple. Obviously, a little bit more sort of modern in terms of their branding. And I've actually got proper glassware for these two nice little pint pots. That sounds like it's going to be shit. There's a chance it might be. That's the beauty of the bitters. Me and Harry had the Ruby Mild, which was just fantastic. It was really good. The mild was really nice. I think we had another beer from them. I think it was like a different bitter, which was oxidized to fuck. So it's in the back of my mind that that might occur. So we'll quickly have a look at the Untappeds and then the websites for both of them. So I'll probably be, well, mind you, I've got me see, I'm all prepared. Got my phone with the YouTube feed going. So absolutely raping the internet tonight. Is that a problematic term? I don't know. Anyway, so let's share the screen. There we go, entire screen. So we'll have a look, just because it's from left to right. Headmaster, old school brewery. Average score 3.35 out of 606 ratings. Law of averages dictates to me that that's not too bad. We won't go into the full look at that until we've actually tasted it. So here's the old school brewery website. Just it's exactly what the sort of website you'd expect to see. So it doesn't actually say when these guys formed, but our brewery, built on traditional skills and values, has its home in an ancient barn nestling at the foot of Wharton Crag, where we mix top quality ingredients with a great deal of love, more than a little patience, and a deep-seated respect for the heritage and beauty of our surroundings to produce award-winning handcrafted ales. So you've got some nice photography. Established in 2012. Okay. So it's actually a little bit younger than the other brewery. So both of them sort of new school, would you say? Let's see. There's a description there. I'm not sure how well you can actually see that on the actual stream itself. So we'll have a quick little look. Founded in 2012 by Ian Walsh and Ren Wallbank. Initially something of a hobby, the brewery grew into something much more. We now deliver award-winning beers to a huge variety of cafes, pubs and bars across Lancashire, Cumbria, the Dales and Greater Manchester, producing more beer than we ever thought imagine. Although there are only 4 simple ingredients to craft beer: water, malt, barley, hops and yeast, the brewing process can be quite complex, which is why since we opened we've always strived for quality and consistency. We aim to achieve this by using our finest, only the finest quality ingredients in our ales and beers, and simply treating everything we use with lots of love and patience to produce the perfect pint, time and time again. All of which, as you might expect, goes a long way to ensuring that each and every drop of beer that we produce leaves the brewery to our exacting standards. We're only a small brewery, but we're very proud of what we do. Fair play to them. And you can look at the beers, events, trade sales. You've got your socials. Website was 2019. Contact details there. So we'll have a quick look. We'll have a look at the shop. Bar in a bag, bottles. I think you might have to get in touch directly with them. Fire branded carry case. I do like the look of that actually. 8 500ml bottles and a fire branded carry case, 25 quid. Suppose that's a decent gift. An individual 500ml bottles, £2 each, not bad. Or you could get 2 bottles in a pint glass for £8.50, or upgrade it to 5 bottles and 1 pint glass, £14.50. Interesting. And you do the bar in the bag stuff as well. So let's have a look at the cask offerings. I'm not going to read all of that, but we've got a detention bitter, hopscotch pale, textbook blonde. Saw a few textbook blondes in Liverpool. Oops, sexist. Headmaster. We've got Blackboard, Smooth Dark. Already interested in that. Junior Golden Ale. And let's see if we can see this special. So obviously rugby themes there. Try Harder EPA. Tried Harder. And I think that's just... Is that just the 3 of the same? Okay. So that's old school. Now we go to Battleaxe from Rudgate, 4.2. Average rating, 3.38 out of 3,997. Would that mean that the average is a bit better? I'm not too sure because I'm an idiot. Let's see. Have you seen that Raggy has fucked his foot in my good days? I saw that, yeah. Only Raggy can somehow nearly fall down an open manhole cover. But I hope he has a speedy recovery because I know he'd be absolutely gutted. But like that's going to stop him. But I do indeed wish him a swift recovery. So Rudgate Beers, 28 years old. Want to know where to buy our award-winning range of beers? Lots of your favourite Rudgate brews available in casks for delivery, or you can find them bottled in a number of supermarkets and local suppliers across the north of England. Click here to find out where you can find them. Oh, got some cans there. Grapefruit. Oh, got a grapefruit beer there. Do the gin, the kegs, merch. I'm going to have to look at the merch. I always have to look at a brewery's merch. I clicked on merch. Nice simple t-shirt. And the cap. No sweatshirts. Delivery charges may apply to Scotland. Free delivery. Fair dues. So, got some food recipes there as well. Beer battered sausages. Sorry, I'm going completely off. I actually use yeast in it. Beef and award-winning Ruby Mild beer casserole. Get in my stomach, you filthy little animal. That sounds wonderful. So, let's have a look at their beers then. Off to watch Jaws now, mate. We'll catch up with you soon. Have a good one. You too, bud. Joe, I've not watched Jaws for years. I don't want to see the brew program. So there we've got Valkyrie American Pale Ale. We've got the Ruby Mild. That's one that we had. That was really nice. Chocolate Stout. Jorvik Blonde. Viking Golden Ale. And then Battleaxe. I'm sure there was another... picked up another Rudgate beer. You'll have to watch Harry's live stream to see that. Yeah, nice sort of modest range of beers there. So, off to a good start. So I better get these beers open before they get to room temperature. So, yeah, couple of interesting sounding beers. And let's see what we get with each of their beers then. So, yeah, I really do need to stop getting craft cans. I really need to devote a good amount of time just to getting some nice bottles. And they had a really good range in the booths. Can we get it all in? Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have waited so we can get a proper sniff. And I do apologise for the dirty glass there. So that's the Rudgate. I've already opened that. No bad. So how's everyone's week so far? I know it's only the first day of the week, but hope it's gone off to a good start. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Oh, much less generous pour in this one. Oh, mind you, it is a little bit of a bigger glass, to be fair. So, yeah. So, both described as best bitters. So, on the left, we've got Rudgate. And on the right, we've got Old School Brewery. So, this one, it's obviously mirrored for me. I don't think it's showing as mirrored, though. So, yeah, the Rudgate is significantly lighter. Although when you look at them side by side, weirdly, there's almost not much between them. It's just this looks a little bit darker. I mean, it is darker out of the two. Jaws is damn good. It is a good film. Nice clarity to both of them. I'd probably say that the Old School one's got a little bit more of that sort of chestnutty vibe. The Old School looks very decent. It does, doesn't it? It looks nice and hearty. Both of them have got, I'd say, slightly off-white head. This... I would say appearance-wise, the Old School just looks that little bit more satisfying. But we shall see what they're both like. So we'll get a sniff of the Rudgate. It's got that sweet sort of like biscuity aroma. There's like a fucking dip my nose in. There's almost like a slight sort of ginger, like a ginger biscuit sort of aroma. Nice, gentle, sweet malt build. It is a sweet sort of a smelling bitter. Like a vanilla biscuit, almost. Like I'm getting a pronounced vanilla aroma coming out of that. And then in the old school, okay, this has got a little bit more of a darker sort of sweetness to it. A little bit more like syrupy, like you've opened a fresh tin of, what's that syrup called? Treacle, not syrup. It's almost got a little bit more of a slightly roasted, nutty edge. There is a little bit more of a roastiness coming out of this. They're not roasty. And almost a little bit more of a herbal, like hop character, without it being hoppy. Old school looks better, but the other looks more like most bitters I've had. Yeah, see, that's the thing with this series. Seems like an ESB. Yeah, it's just weird, isn't it? How this is why I do like to do these things, because I'm learning a lot from this. It's not about finding like the best bitter in England or whatever. It's just I'm interested to see. You get 2 or 3 beers all listed as the same style, and then seeing what differences and what similarities you get. It's almost like a rum cask aroma coming out of this. So aroma-wise, it's a little bit more satisfying than this. This is a bit more sort of like plain Jane. Interesting. Yeah, but the old school does definitely look more like an ESB. Yeah, you already did that, Peter, at the millstone. Ha ha ha. You already did what? See, I've literally forgotten what I've said 20 seconds after I've said it. Anyway, I'm going to tuck on in. We'll try the Rudgate first. So, Yorkshire, let's see what you've got. I know you've got Timothy Taylors and all that sort of stuff. Let's see what Rudgate can offer. Nowhere near as sweet as the nose would dictate. Found the best bitter. What was that again? See, now I'm confused. Was Millstone the Dead Tiny pub? I had a slight concern that this beer would be oxidised from the aroma. I didn't want to say it. But no, light body, J.W. Lee's, of course. Which one was that again? I know we found one of the best miles I've ever had in the... what was that pub called, Paul? The Joseph Holt pub. That was like the heartiest smile that I've had for a long time, and since, to be honest. But yeah, very light-bodied, but without it being watery. There's a little bit more of a hop character coming through, and a little bit of a slight graininess. But yeah, that sweetness that I was getting on the nose really does not come through. It's very light in general. It's one of those ones that you could just, I mean, both beers, I'd imagine anyway, just due to ABV and the style you'd session the shit out of if you found a good, like, cask or tap line in a pub. I miss those days where I'd have, like, multiple of the same beer in a pub. I mean, I do when I'm, like, drinking locally. Although I do like to alternate between the lagers that they have on. And I have, like, a cheeky Feekstons. I think it's Feekstons mild. But yeah, it's nice and simple, very, very palatable, easy drinking. You could argue a little bit on the bland side. The milds at the Millstone were nice, and the Holt one was nice too. Syracuse Dark Ruby Mild I had at the Star in Reign Supreme. Good old Syracuse. And almost made it sound like that place in York, Syracuse. Feeks and Milds is damn fine on cask. We just have it on keg at my local, and then I can never remember the name of the mild. It's a Carlsberg owned one, but in the local Labour Club, it's like £2 a pint. I mean, that with football, play a bit of darts if there's no like local darts games going on. But yeah, this, like, for me defines like post work cheeky pint before you get home. Yeah, I actually really like that. If you're looking for a big sort of like flavoursome bitter, there are lots out there where you get a little bit more character, I would say. But it's not like wishy-washy. It's not like a pissy thin sort of bitter. Still really nice. Slight little bit of a roasted nut character coming through. Nice bitterness throughout and then on the back end. But yeah, not bad so far, considering I was worried it might be a bit oxidized. So, let's see what you can do locally. Cheers. Just leaps and bounds different. Considering they're supposed to be the same style, vastly different beers. Coniston Bluebird XB Bitter is lovely. That is nice. I think we had that on tap, didn't we? In that very, very small pub in the Northern Quarter. Isn't that where you were violently sick while you're having a piss or something like that? Do you know what? Very rarely do I mention anything about like conditioning when I'm comparing beers. But the conditioning on this old school brewery Headmaster, that's a really nice, bold mouthfeel, smooth, and it's very reminiscent of having it pulled on a cask. The roastiness is definitely turned up. I mean, you can tell by the colour difference that the malts are a little bit darker, a little bit roastier. That graininess is there. That hot bitterness shines through. There's almost like a rye, spicy tone in there. And you get a nice, very subtly sweet biscuit flavour coming through. I think it's It's a full-blown conclusion already, to be fair. I've got to say, this is actually one of the best bitters that I've had for quite a while. It's knocked the socks off like 90% of the sort of like modern craft versions of bitters. Not saying that modern craft breweries don't know how to brew a good bitter, but yeah, this is a very robust bitter indeed. Definitely flavour wise as well, more along the lines of an ESB. That's really good. It's just that bolder mouthfeel is really noticeable. Very nice indeed. Could drink a few of them in a nice country pub in the that's exactly where I'm imagining myself right now. Especially in that part of the country. You know, heading up towards like Cumbria and then past Morecambe. See, these are the beers where, I mean, yeah, I spent the whole weekend trying multiple beers in different places. But I'd love to have a nice proper session on something like this on keg or cask. Get some nice traditional like pub food, like a nice hearty meat pie, steak and ale pie, something like that. I mean, this I would say would go a little bit better with like a nice, fish and chips. Because it is a little bit lighter. I mean, obviously, now I'm taking a sip of this after drinking that. So much more noticeable. And that's not to say I don't think this is a good bitter. I think this is a really nice beer. But this, I would say, is sort of like, obviously, it's a little bit lighter in ABV. So, I mean, I know it's only 0.3 difference percentage wise, but that can always make the difference, obviously. But yeah, this is it's just a little bit in the shadow compared directly to this one. In a pub that has rooms too, and just hammer through them until closing that stagger, then stagger upstairs. Yeah, definitely. See, I drink these sorts of beers, and I know none of them are brewed in the Lake District, but I'm just instantly transported to like a long weekend in the Lake District. I think I might treat myself in the new year to just a long weekend somewhere in the Lake District. Stay overnight in a pub. I mean, yeah, I could go to like Hawkshead and places like that, but I don't know. I think it's because, especially when my stepdad was still alive, we'd all go up there. Not loads of times each year, but we try and get down there or up there as much as possible. Just for, go early in the morning, come home a little bit late at night. Jobs are good, and it's such a good day out. It's the Lake District. I mean, it does get a little bit annoying when you get all the tourists there, but there's so many nice sort of like secluded off the beaten path places that you can go to. And yeah, I think that's, I don't know, there's just something. The Bull Inn in Coniston is better for that. Good food too, and all Coniston brewery beers on. Joe, I'm going to make a mental note of the Bull Inn in Coniston. Have I been to the Bull Inn before? Let me just have a look, because that rings a bell. Sorry, I'm dealing with a very slow internet connection. I want to see more photos of the actual place itself. The food looks good. The food looks really nice. Oh, especially the fish and chips. Black Bull. Do you know what? I think I have been there before. I'm probably completely wrong, but isn't this? Because I recognise the small bridge and the river. Isn't that the one where there's like 3 pubs? I mean, there's like within like a couple of 20 seconds walking distance from each one. I do very much recognise that place. But yeah, the Lake District. I mean, I'm not even talking about Yorkshire or Lancashire now, am I? We're talking about the Lake District. Paul's here, so he knows I like to overly romanticise the tiniest little detail. But the Lake District has always been a favourite place of mine. Now, don't get me wrong, the idea of rural living bores the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. But you'll be hard pressed by saying that I've aged 20 years. You'd be hard pressed to find a more picturesque part of the country than the Lake District. And Paul, I think you'd absolutely fucking adore that if you're still watching. Yeah, on the corner. Yeah. I think that's the same. I can't remember what specifically the place is called. But yeah, because we were there a few years ago, me and my mum, my stepdad, and my younger brother. And we were just having, I was just like having halves. And my mum, was like, bear in mind, she doesn't really drink beer. She'll have shandies, although she does really like Warsteiner. She does like German lagers after she visited me while I was living in Germany. But she likes Black Sheep as well, just Black Sheep Ale. Yeah, it's a silly, trivial memory, but it sticks with me. We'd been to that aquarium in the Lake District. Can't remember what it's called. Places and names I'm awful at remembering. And we were just like sat by the river, and we basically just shared a bottle of Black Sheep Ale. And I'm like, this is a really nice moment. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we're in this. I can't remember which one it was. It's got to be a Robinson's, because Old Tom is a Robinson's beer, isn't it? And she goes, "Oh, that Old Tom sounds nice." So she got herself a bottle of that, and she drank it. She "Oh, that's really easy drinking." And like Old Tom's, like quite a high ABV. beer. And yeah, it's just silly little things like that always like resonate with me. So, you know, the Lake District, it holds a very special place in my heart. And when I'm drinking beers like this, I'm always thinking of being in the Lake District with family and just whatever shit you're going through, whatever things that annoy you in your day-to-day life, they mean absolutely fuck all when you're surrounded by some of the most picturesque landscapes. You've got people you care about, and you've got really nice, small pubs. And there's a good post office there as well, that sells a few beers. And I can't remember the brewery's name, but something like the Lake District Brewing Company or something like that. And they did a Pilsner, and it was gorgeous. But yeah, I mean, obviously we've not been able to really go there because we lost my stepdad earlier this year. So I'm thinking 2021 has been an absolute shit show of a year for everyone, really. But we've also like losing my stepdad this year. It's just once this year's over, just a nice little getaway. Reminisce about all those times we've been there. Just take my mum, my younger brother, my niece as well. I think she'd, well, we've taken her a few times to Lake District. I think she'd really love that. But yeah, just it'd be nice just to have a nice weekend, or just go on my own. Be a selfish prick and just do a solo trip. I don't need to go to like, because I'm sure there's some really good bottle shops in the Lake District, and I'm sure there's some like nice craft beer bars that have opened up in recent years. I don't need that. I just want a nice traditional pub. I don't care who it's owned by. I don't care what the tap selection's like. I just want a nice pub in the Lake District. Go from pub to pub, venue to venue. Nothing silly. I'm not searching for like stupid imperial stouts or whatever. I just want high quality cask. I want high quality local sort of like Lake District Cumbrian beers. Simple fish and chips in the evening, pie and chips, whatever. Just be engulfed by the beauty of the landscape. Get mildly annoyed by tourists. But yeah, man, it's like all of these people during these lockdowns, like, and apologies if it sounds like I'm having to go at anyone here specifically, if you can resonate with this. But like, I wanted to go on holiday this year, but I can't. It's like you don't have to go abroad. We've got some beautiful places, not just in the Lake District. We've got some gorgeous places in Lancashire. We've got some gorgeous places in Yorkshire. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to go through the rigmarole of testing before you leave, then isolating when you get into certain countries, and then having to test when you come back, and all this bullshit, paying ridiculous amounts of money for something you can just get free, usually. COVID tests. Oops, said the C word. You know, I'd like to think that as shit as this last, like, year to 2 years has been, I just like to think that people have realised, do you know what? We've got so much good stuff back at home that we can go to. You know, travel it can be expensive depending where you're going. Obviously, in accommodation, I know a lot of places have had to put up their prices. Completely understandable because all the business that they've lost. I'll never begrudge like a hotel or an inn or a pub putting the price up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, went on a little bit of a rant then. But yeah, there's beautiful places in Lancashire. There's beautiful places in Yorkshire. It's going to sound a bit biased, but the northern part of England is just beautiful, and we've got some really great newer and traditional breweries, bars, pubs, like heritage sort of like breweries and pubs and venues and stuff. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It just makes you feel good to be northern when you're drinking stuff like this. Even though I sound nowhere near like I was born and raised in between fucking Liverpool and Wigan. For some reason, everyone else in my family has got something of a regional accent. I sound like this, like posh camp, like tough. I just don't get it. But I've noticed we've had a few comments, so I think we best get to those comments because I can see my good friend Brett has joined as well. Next to Bridge, banging centre of Coniston Village. Brett says, oi oi Sleeping Beauty. So you watched the live stream. Very nice. Coniston Mill Stout is pretty tasty. I can't say I've tried that. Jennings, I'm not sure. I think it's Robinson's. I think Old Tom is Robinson's. Bear Jennings, Cumbrian, now, well, it's like Marston's, Carlsberg, isn't it? But they still brew some good beers. When you have them on tap in a pub in Cornwall, what the fuck? The Lake District in Cumbria, you're getting a good pint. Same great memories. They said memories then. Says Craig. Some parts of Dorset are beautiful as well. I need to visit a place like Dorset. Yeah, I've been going on about people bitching and moaning about not being able to go on holiday to different countries. The furthest I've gone is like Liverpool and Manchester. Although I will be visiting Harry in Marlborough, so that's a bit far. Then Brett gives me a wink. By the way, evening, Brett. I don't think I actually said evening. Hope you're doing well, buddy. And then the north is just better. I will have to agree, Paul. I will very much have to agree. But yeah, both of these beers are really nice. I'm very satisfied with this. Not just because I'm Lancashire born and bred. I will say, Old School Brewery just about beats it for me. Just because it's a little bit more of a robust and flavoursome drinking experience. But both these beers, very high quality. I don't know what I'm getting from this video today. I'm saying that this whole bitter end series, looking at bitters, is about me learning and potentially coming to a conclusion. But I think it's just a good idea to have an ongoing series just drinking bitters. I mean, what more could you want? Yeah, I don't need triple dry hopped quadruple IPAs all the time. I don't need like an imperial stout with every flavouring you can think of all the time. I don't need sours that blow your head off all the time. But I do need to make a much more conscientious effort to drink more stuff like this, especially in a bit more of a regional, local sort of sense. Evening Turtle as well. I've stocked up on some music as I've stocked up on beer and wine. I need wine for next Saturday. Oh, fair dues. What music have you stocked up on? Are you talking about like buying vinyl and stuff? And what's going on next Saturday, Brett? if you don't mind me asking, on a public platform. The more I'm drinking this, the Rudgate one, the more I'm enjoying it. Not that I wasn't enjoying it to be. No, that's not the Rudgate one. See, they almost look a bit like the same. But it's amazing how they don't look that different on my end. They really, really don't. I mean, no wonder I was enjoying this. I've been enjoying this more for the whole evening. That feels so much more heavier in a good way than it actually is. I'm going to say this is probably one of the best bitters that I've covered on this series. That's just really good. I really want to see what their mild's like. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that. Final few Quo and Saxon and CD, bunch of emo dance metal ones, and next Saturday hopefully Thomas will be interviewing me. Okay. On Thomas's famous interview series, which I really do enjoy. Bitters, milds, old ales, and traditional impy stouts and barley wines, all I need. Do you know what, Paul? I would very much agree. A lot of the time, for the more traditional stuff, you're paying much less than like contemporary sort of prices. And don't get me wrong, I love that sort of stuff. I mean, the Marlborough Piss Up this year, the bottle share alone, we're going to have some absolutely mental beers. But there's a part of me that's like, well, are you going to give us loads of Ramsbury beers? Or can we all chip in for like a crate of different Ramsbury beers? I want to drink more of that stuff. I'm more interested in that sort of stuff than I am some of the big, insane beers that we're going to be drinking in the bottle share. I have 3 19-gram wines. I've had one out of bunch barrel aged red wine. I tell you what, one you need to try, Brett. We tried this. Well, it was forced upon me by Rasco at the London Craft Beer Festival. But they did a coffee wine, and that was good. Although it was getting a bit too much, so I put it into my because I was drinking like Imperial Bueno from Umbard, and because you get a bit silly, don't you? And I poured poured the rest of that wine into my existing taster glass, already full, a lot more than it should have been. Not that I'm complaining at a generous pour of like Imperial Bueno shake or something like that, and it wrecked it. Don't get me wrong, it wrecked it, but definitely want a Ramsbury sampler. Well, because obviously we've still got quite a few of your beers here that we've not been able to send over stateside as of yet. I'm sure Harry can arrange a few extra bottles to be sent over. I think, Paul, you're experiencing probably the best cellaring program ever. Basically, because your beers are still here in England. But yeah, Ramsbury. I enjoyed all the Ramsbury stuff that I had when I was visiting Harry. Yeah, I wanted to get that show of Chelsea. Okay. So I'd imagine that's like a bit more of a specialist limited release that they do, because you do see a lot of the 19 crime stuff. Costco seems to have a lot of their wines. But as someone who I literally can't drink wine, or else I become very aggressive and quite misogynistic, apparently. Nicely cellared in the motherland since 2018. Exactly, Paul. We do it right here in the UK. And it's not just because we've been too lazy to pull our fingers out and actually have it imported back to you. But I know Adam has good links with international transit. RIDRX9 or Z9, can't see that properly because I'm blind. Shows a lot of beers, a lot of beer emojis. Cheers to you too, my friend. Yeah, I think so. I downloaded the app and it tripped me out. The wine bottle spoke to me. Okay. Let me guess, like each sort of like character from the wines has their own sort of story. Are they based on real like criminals? I'm always misogynistic without wine. Yeah, apparently when I had the infamous MD 2020 session, I was saying some pretty awful things about a couple of my female friends. I don't believe it. I'm too nice. Although I do seem to upset a lot of people on Instagram as of late. God, I bet it was. I hope you weren't already drinking before you went on the app. I like it when places do that. MD 2020, yeah. Never again. Never again. Fortified wines like that. No, don't let me touch them. Do not let me touch them. That's the first hangover in about 15 years where I actually vomited the next day. It was awful. That's the only time a hangover's lasted more than a day for me. It was fucking atrocious. God knows. See, I do this thing. You've seen me do it a lot when I like pretend to talk to Jack Nicholson. But I sometimes do it in like normal conversation where someone might say something stupid to me, and I just turn to the side, no one's there, and goes, "Did you say that?" Yeah, I think that's a bit silly, isn't it? But apparently, I was doing that quite a lot, and then I was getting a little bit aggressive with my tone, saying some very unpolitically correct things. I just became an arsehole, quite frankly. But the people around me thought it was hilarious, so I couldn't have been that bad. Now I was sober, that was worse. If I was drunk, I'd be like, meh, fair dues. And good evening, Thomas. Hope you're doing well, sir. So I'll quickly have a look at the Untapped scores, see what people's saying about these beers. So, Headmaster. Let's see, we've got 4 out of 5. Another 4 out of 5. Oh, advert from Untapped on Untapped's website. It's better than a porno ad, I suppose. Mark W gave it a 3.25, is that? I'm not sure. Deep mahogany in colour, malt and dried fruit nose, rich fruit, dry palate, nice bitter finish. See, to me, his review sounds a lot more generous than his actual score. Let's see, 3.2 from Eleanor M. Alex P likes it a bit more. Chris K likes it considerably more. Do you need a coupon? I don't need a coupon. Paul A, it seems to be quite a common sort of score. Oh, come on, someone say something about it. Well, got quite a few badges there, well done. Some nice photography. I'm seeing that name a lot, Paul A. No, I'm just seeing Paul's name a lot. Nice enough in bottle that I drive back to try it on tap if I can, says Christy. My thoughts exactly. I think this would be absolutely gorgeous on cask. Patrick says malty smells and malty fruity flavours with some bitter undertones. Let's have a look at what he's got there. What's he got? World Top Headland Red. World Top. Can I see a full picture, please? Marmalade Porter, that sounds nice. He's got Headmaster and 2 bottles of hopscotch. Nice little haul there. Now we have to go back. Completely stole this idea off Rob, by the way. A strong flavoured bitter, malty undertones with bitter flavours dominating, followed by a sweeter finish. Nice. Why would you check in and not rate it? I don't understand that. He sure is healthy. Manchester to Rome. All these stupid adverts. And he looks like a twat. Anyway. So yeah, I think it's a little bit better than that score, but it could have been scored much worse, I suppose. Let's see Battleaxe. Jesus. It's making its way to Sweden. Fair dues. And it's making waves. Yeah. We need James here so he can read this for us. Oh, yeah, I haven't logged in. So I can't even use the translate option. Bitte Gott, det sen jättegammalt. Something to do with malt, perhaps? Yeah, system. Bologet again. Then we've got Jimmy. And it gets to that point now where my nose gets blocked for no reason whatsoever. So yeah, quite a lot of these reviews are coming from Sweden at the moment. Best bitter, says Suze H. 3 out of 5. I think she just likes to shout. Best bitter, and oh yeah, mother-in-law joke. As if we knew that wasn't coming. But he's a camera supporter, isn't he? Can remember. Yeah, quite a lot of Swedish reviews. Anyway, I don't think we got anything from that little excursion, but it doesn't really matter. How do we stop this? There we go. So we've got a few more comments. I'm probably going to crack open another beer after this. Let's see. People saying hello to Thomas, and rightly so. Your series, The Bitted, is pretty good. I got a series coming called Ale Tales, the real ales that got me on the beer journey. That sounds good. There's a book in there as well, surely. That's Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast. Is he the one who did all the challenges, like the food challenges and stuff? No, that's LA Beast, isn't it? Who did that? I think I might have to get an order from these. Rob gets aggressive with the comments, though. I like the aggressively forceful ways of the good Sir Rob. Yeah, he is quite entertaining when he gets a little bit frustrated. You've never seen a man more committed to airing his views than when he gets a badly conditioned pour of beer. And fair play to him. I'm too much of a coward to say anything. I just drink it and shut up like a bitch. But yeah, I definitely want to pick up some more old school brewery stuff. Very impressed with this. And I mean, I'm a sucker for a mild anyway. So I'm going to have to actually look into doing an order from these guys. But yeah, very good stuff indeed. But I think we've already established that. I'll put that bottle away. And we'll finish this. And I'll probably crack open a can of Common Grounds. Because it's been a long while since I've had Common Grounds. Mr. Beast does a lot of charity work. Okay, is he British? Mr. Beast. I'm gonna have to look him up. Well, he's an American YouTuber. He's an American YouTuber, businessman, and philanthropist. He's been credited with pioneering a genre of YouTube videos that centre on expensive stunts. And you know what? He already annoys me because he's only 23 years old. But mind you, his Arbor Day Foundation has raised over $23 million, so he's definitely a much better person than I am. Mr. Beast. I do recognise him. He looks a bit like Jake, with a slightly more defined moustache. And but mind you, I think Jake's got a wonderful moustache. I recommend Ringwood of 49er. I was surprised how good it was for an Ale Tales video I filmed a few weeks back. Oh, nice. Have you already uploaded any of the Ale Tales stuff, Brett? Or you just got stuff lined up to upload? Be interested to watch that. Mr. Beast will become a billionaire this time next year. It would not surprise me. And I do share Paul's sentiment with he's probably an entitled, Rick spoiled fucktard. Well, folks, this has been a very successful edition of Until the Bitter End. There wasn't a bitter that was spoilt. There wasn't an underwhelming bitter, both of them. Even though they say they were both best bitters, completely different drinking experiences, but both very satisfying. But as always, Lancashire comes out on top. Not yet. I got stuff locked away. I got a few more surprises in the meantime. Okay. Are you going to be doing a helicopter penis video? Because I think that'd be an interesting surprise. Or playing your guitar with your penis. On the penis talk now, folks. We've got to that point. Yeah. Both beers, highly, highly recommended. We'll do a conclusion a little bit later on. I'm just going to quickly get myself a can of Common Grounds, which is just literally there. So I'll turn the camera off so you don't see my my crotch. There's not much to look at anyway, to be fair, but, you know, modesty and all that. And it didn't grumble when it stood up, so that's not always a plus. But yeah, when I was in booths... Oh, but I'll grunt when I have to sit down, though, won't I? When I was in booths, I was very pleasantly surprised that they've got metric from Marble, even though, you know, Marble, the sexists, and all that sort of palaver. Let's see. If you do it in Peniston, film. He's not wearing trousers. Oh, yes, I am wearing trousers, but they're, as you can see, they're quite skinny fitting. Well, actually, they've got a weird texture to them, but they're comfortable. Yeah, we've got... Oh, showing it to the wrong camera. Common Grounds. Coffee Porter. One of the best things I ever bought was a mini keg of this. My God, that was good. Let's see. All good brews are sexist and sexy. There you go, Paul. Hit the nail on the head. So let's see how this is tasting. Another brewery who a lot of people have problems with. Yet, you know, you can't really complain when everything you buy is from China, and they're known for some of the worst humanitarian atrocities, and for, you know, pretty much causing the world to come to a standstill. But we'll still, you know, depend on cheap labour. So excuse me when I don't get too upset about companies like Magic Rock. And well, thank you, Craig. That's the funny thing is about me. I've got quite slim looking arms, got slim looking legs. It's just here, here, and here. Because of this and a lack of exercise and a good diet, I've always said it, I'm like a child's drawing. But hey ho, it is what it is. Let's see. Most people are hypocrites. Exactly. I think I'm a hypocrite. I don't think you can go through life without being hypocritical on certain things. Anyway, I've got some nice beer now. Well, I've had nice beer anyway. You like an orange with toothpicks sticking out of it? Exactly. It's like when a kid draws like a family, like an image of the family, where everyone's so ill proportioned, and they draw a house that's smaller than the people because their children are shit artists. But we need to nurture that talent to make them better artists. And to do what, like that Danish artist did, who got a massive grant and then basically turned up to the gallery with 2 blank canvases. Fair play. Anyway, it's looking good so far. Smelling good so far. It's so hard to find Magic Rock on tap nowadays. Because I know they've done different versions in the past. The Kentucky Grounds, that was really nice. Common Grounds on cask, game changer. Like, genuinely a game changer. But even in the cans, it's good. Saying that, I haven't actually took a sip yet. It's been a while since I've had Common Grounds. So let's give it a taste. Cheers. It's still so good. It's still so good. Mate, it's like, you know by now that I love coffee beers. And I've had some mega coffee beers in the past 12 months. I had a really good one from Salt recently, which I also picked up from booths. And I nearly got some when I was at Dead Crafty in Liverpool. Can't remember what it's called, but that was a coffee stout. That was wonderful. But this just... I'm sorry, but there's a bit of blood spilled, but it's still tasty beer. Swings and roundabouts, do you know what I mean? Modern artists get me a bit annoyed. Completely agree. Espresso is king of coffee stout porter by Beavertown. Ooh. See, I'd be interested to give that a try. Is that something that that they've only brewed like once, or do they tend to rebrew that beer? I'd be happy to do artwork for beer labels for a sixer of every different batch I do. Sounds fair to me. Do you know what, Paul? I think you could. I'm trying to think of an American brewery that has like picturesque labels. I think that your paintings would look fantastic on Sierra Nevada labels, especially like the big sort of like barrel aged series stuff. Or I'd like you just to do a mock up of a Anchor Anchor Christmas beer label. I'd love to see your version of an Anchor Christmas beer. Heavy Gravity was bloody good. Well, it was good, a surprise. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I've not really had anything from Beavertown that's blown me away recently. My local pub at one point had neck oil on tap. I mean, the tap handle's still there, but it's always got a glass on it because I don't think they've had any newer kegs. But that was tasting nice. I've had the odd ropey can of what's it called in the pink can? Lupuloid. Was it Lupuloid? In like the neon pink can, which was really good. And then just like with what they did to Bloody Hell, completely destroyed it. But Gamma Ray is still a nice cheeky little beer if you get a good batch of it. I think you should, Paul. I think your artwork would look really good on like a sort of like proper rural American brewery. I'm trying to think of specific places. And all I want to say is Midwest. Necko's disappointing, and I loved Lupuloid, but it just tastes exactly, yeah, hit the nail on the head there with that. This is so nice. So nice. When was this canned? Well, it's got best before of 11th of June next year, so I'd imagine. To hazard a guess, Magic Rock put a sort of like a year's shelf life on a lot of their beers, and I've just nearly spat everywhere. It's so good though. It's so good. It's still good now. No matter the controversy, it's beyond your control. It seems like every fucking brewery nowadays is just run by sex pests anyway. I mean, look at all the breweries pulling out of a Mikkeller beer celebration. Listen, I don't spend like vast amounts of money on single breweries, so my odd can and bottle of some of these problematic breweries makes no difference because I'm not like supporting them all the time. Do you know what I mean? That's why I've got no problem buying big beer because my couple of quid hasn't really made that much difference. And I know you could use that argument, yeah, but if like 20 of you paid that £3 for X and X beer, you know, that's 20 times 3, which is 60, for those who are nearly as slow as maths as I am. But yeah, it's like, what difference? It's pennies on the pound. It's like, who gives a fuck? And obviously you do, because, you know, there's some really very questionable things that have happened, things that have come out. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I don't know, I'm not getting into it because I'll just get annoyed. I've already been labelled a misogynist by close family members. That's a joke, by the way. I've not had a Magic Rock beer in a year, the Hazelnut Dark Arts. And I want to get Wild Weather's Maple and Coffee Stout they released a few weeks ago. See, that'd be nice. That sounds nice. Although I'm a little bit bored of maple in beers. It's not my favourite flavour. I do find maple syrup in general to be a tiny bit overrated. But, you know, one could argue that it's because, you know, you've got to pay a good price for good maple syrup. Because a lot of the stuff we get here commercially in the UK, it's all obviously flavoured as opposed to being like proper grade A maple syrup. But yeah, I'm glad I got 2 cans of this. I also got a can of Pump Up the Jam by Tiny Rebel, and I'm trying to think how I can do a video containing Common Grounds by Magic Rock and Pump Up the Jam Donut Pale Ale, and making like a donut and coffee beer video. Like, would I have to actually get some good coffee and some nice donuts? I mean, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to get some nice donuts. Do you know what I mean? Because donuts are just like one of the ultimate sweet snacks, really, aren't they? But I mean, I suppose I could try and cuvee a Pump Up the Jam with a bit of Common Grounds. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something witty, clever, and original. But I think that's only something that the Craft Beer channel can do, apparently. But yeah, anyway. There's no hate towards Craft Beer channel, by the way. I think they do some really good content. And I've met Johnny, didn't really talk to him. Met Brad, basically spoke to his wife more than I spoke to him at the Craft Beer Festival. But they seem like nice guys. And Brad has that pizza t-shirt that he got from New York, from like a pizzeria in New York. It's like a pizza slice with sunglasses. And I managed to actually find it, but it was like so expensive. And I'm not taking the risk on buying a t-shirt that might be a little bit too tight for me. But it's a really nicely designed t-shirt. But yeah, coffee, donuts, and beer. What more could you ask for? And I don't think anyone's doing a beer series fundamentally based on pairing donuts with beer. So I could tap into that market as well. Because we all know how much I've committed to Saturday Night Slice and the Amazing Chris Butty show. But people like the Chris Butty show, so I don't know why I don't make any more videos. I don't know. It's just because I have to edit stuff together and I have to actually think about content that I put out there. I've become so fucking lazy in the past few years. It's unbelievable. Like today, because I booked a long weekend off, because obviously I was in Liverpool over the weekend, and my days off are Tuesday. So I thought it makes sense to book this. Well, it was my Saturday off anyway. Book the Friday off. Book the Monday off. Tuesday's your day off anyway, which is the only good reason of having a Tuesday off. And have I made the most of it? Have I? Fuck. And I'm going to be bored shitless tomorrow. Because it's always the way, isn't it? I often think when I get to this stage, when I'm doing these videos, are you kind of almost witnessing me having a mental breakdown? I don't know. Is it fun to watch? Maybe. Do I want more beers after this? Yes. But I have to resist. Although I've got a can of metric in the fridge that has chilled down nicely. So maybe I'll accidentally go into the fridge and open it and drink it. Yeah. These live streams are a fucking mess, aren't they? They rarely are. They start off on point and to the actual subject, and then just end up me just being sat here. I'm literally sat on a hardwood floor. Well, it's not hardwood because it's cheap laminate flooring, but you get the picture. But yeah, I'm in the zone now. Maybe a little bit too much in the zone. Do you know what? I feel like at this point I'm just going to have a massive, like, racist outburst. Even though I'm not a racist. But do you know what I mean? It gets to that point. It's like the film Network. Maybe I'm going to have an outburst in the same ilk as Network. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? A fucking massive deposit of pissy ice could fall off a plane and smash through my roof, obliterating me. That could also happen. This beer's gone down way too quick. I think Common Grounds for me is still the GOAT of the coffee beer. This is like Tyson Fury of coffee beers. And I'm very surprised that Harry and Adam haven't been in this stream, although I don't know if they want anything to do with me after my complete embarrassment on a Sunday evening. Such is life, I suppose. Anyway. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm getting me can of metric and I'm going to drink that and then finish this stream. So if you can bear with me for just a couple of moments, all 8 people, even though I know one of them is me because I've got the stream playing on my phone. If you can bear with me for just a couple of moments, I'm sounding congested again. Don't know why. It only happens when I'm sat here talking. And I've cleaned my room recently, so it can't be dust. Maybe I suffered some trauma in this corner of the bedroom many years ago. Maybe that's why I don't see Uncle Tony anymore. I think my internet crapped out then. just as I was showing my penis as well. Anyway, I'm going to get the canometric, and then this shit show will continue for a little bit. So talk amongst yourselves, and I shall see you all in a second. I very much agree, Thomas. Very much agree. Oh, that took a little bit longer than expected. So yeah, Metric by Marble. I know there's ongoing issues with Marble at the moment, but I mean, if you see a good beer, you see a good beer. Do you know what I mean? Makes me sound like a proper wrong when I say that, but I don't know. The whole like sexism and misogyny in beer. First of all, it is something that just should not exist. But I don't need to be told, as a decent human being, how to act as a decent human being. I know right from wrong. I don't treat, especially women, I don't treat women like that. So, tarring a whole segment of society with the same brush and being quite disgusting with your rhetoric and your attitude towards them. You're not solving any problems, you're just making it 10 times worse, and you're going to bring out the worst of the worst offenders. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, you know, it's easy for me as a heterosexual white male to say something like that, because I've never experienced that. Have you seen me? When's the last time I got inappropriately touched up at work? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, joking aside, it's a serious problem. I get it, but you know, you don't have to be so condescending and making out that everyone is the exact same. If I witnessed it firsthand, of course I'm going to say something. Of course I'm going to do something. But do you know what? It's just there's one way to go about it, and then there's a wrong way to go about it. And as long as people who have suffered have a voice, share their stories, name names, then I know it's easier said than done, but it's just, you don't need to tell me how to act like a decent human being. That's all I'm saying on the matter. And I feel so sorry for anyone who's been through anything like that, not just in the brewing industry, but in general. I wouldn't wish that on I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to be put in that situation, to feel so vulnerable. But you know, at the same time, it's like, I'm a good person. I say some things that I shouldn't. I laugh at things that I shouldn't. I find humour in the most disgusting and absurd, like, facets of humanity. That's for my own sanity. But it is what it is. I think there's a reason why not a lot of people in the industry would like me, even if they knew me. Although I do get a lot of people messaging me, like saying, "Oh, I agree with that." Well, if you agree with it, why don't you say it as well? Anyway, alt-right speech over and done with. You're heterosexual and white, never noticed, said Thomas. I always seem to pick the wrong way to go about it. White has fucking iridescent. I'm a horrible person, but yet people like me. We love you, Paul, because you wear your scummy heart on your disgusting sleeve. Oh man, this is not good. So this is metric, otherwise known as pint, just described as a 3.9% session ale. I'm going to quickly look on Untapped just to see what style this is, because it smells a bit like a pale ale. No, it's still known as pint on Untapped. English bitter. I would not think that this is an English bitter on the appearance. I think I've even done this on the Until the Bitter End series. It's not what I remember it being. But then again, it was probably a long time ago when I did that video. But yeah, described as an English bitter. So cheers, folks. It's just nice. It's just one of those, you get why it's called pint, because you want a pint of it. Well, metric now, but. And that's a place that I've hardly been to, Paul, since we've been in Manchester. Since we went to Manchester with you, was the Marble Arch. I think I went in there once since then, because me and my dad had gone to see Hugh Cornwell at the Manchester Academy, and then the following day we met up with Rob for a little bit of a cheeky session. And we went to the Marble Arch, and then Rob did that wonderful thing where he realises that his train's in like 10 minutes and then just leaves, which is fair dues. I'm looking forward to drinking with Rob again. I think me and Rob are potentially going to be going to Track's Tap Room at some point because he wants to do a video. And I'm very much looking forward to going to Track because it's been a while, obviously, because they've, only just got a new place. Oh, this is good. This is lovely. Could drink that all day. I don't really think it's a bitter though. To me, that tastes like a really flavoursome session pale ale. Interesting. And I can't be bothered going back to watching the stream when I reviewed it because I'm lazy. As you probably can tell by the content on the channel. It's tasting nice, so that's the important thing. So, is anybody else drinking at the moment? So I feel like I'm flogging a dead horse at this point. I probably this stream's gone on for about an hour and 41 minutes longer than it should have, to be honest. Are you drinking anything tonight, Thomas? Are you drinking anything at the moment, Paul? What about you, Craig? I wonder if anyone else is about. It's been a little bit quiet on a Messenger this weekend. It's got to that point where I'm paranoid that I've said something to someone to upset them. But it's probably just because I was a drunken lightweight. Oh, nearly put my ash in the half full metric. Chris, evening Chris, has just cracked a dark lager from Clearwater. Quite nice. Oh, nice. I didn't realise they'd done a dark lager. Is that part of the Oktoberfest series they did? I was very interested in trying Märzen, but never got around to buying it. I just did the basic bitch thing and got 2 double IPAs and a triple IPA. No money, no beer, says Thomas. Yeah, same here. Payday cannot come quick enough. I've been very much buying my beer on the cheap recently. But when I can get this for a couple of quid, I'm not complaining too much. Let's see. Evening, Mr. Clueless. Good evening, Terry. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing very well indeed, sir. And I'm not too sure if it's because YouTube's not showing me like 90% of the subscribers who I give a shit about. Have you stopped doing reviews, or are your reviews just not showing up on my feed? Because it's been a very long time indeed, Terry. I hope you're doing well. Hope you and yours are doing okay in these times. Marble Arch, I know Dungarees was very nice. Yeah, it was a Schwarzbier. Yeah, I heard someone talking about that. Cloudwater, they do good lagers. Their Hellers is obviously it's constantly evolving, but that's a damn good Hellers. Hoppy little lagers, quite nice. I think I've had the Pilsner a couple of times, or a couple of their Pilsners. But yeah, I'm quite interested by their it's just gone. Quite interested by their Oktoberfest stuff. Again, another brewery who sort of divides opinion. Well, not the brewery itself, a certain individual who owns the brewery, Paul. Seems like a nice guy. I just think he falls into that trap of he's got a platform to air his opinion. And I think he does that a little bit too much, especially since his Twitter handle is CloudwaterPaul. So it's one of those like really tricky things where I'm really glad that someone's airing their views and opinions on stuff happening in the world. But also it's like your company's name is literally attached to your name. So it can be quite problematic. Took part in Lord's Brewing 24-Hour Live this weekend. Oh, very nice. I watched about an hour or so on Saturday morning when I was a little bit hungover from mine and Harry's mini bottle show. How much money did they end up raising, Thomas? I'm quite interested to see how much they raised. Great cause, though. Schwarzbier is good beer. Very much agree. And Paul says, cheers to Terry. Terry says, stop for a bit. Just gone on a lot of lager than planned. Fair dues. It happens. And he says, hello to Paul. All Pauls are dickheads. But all Pauls... Paul, if you ever decide to do PA Brew News merch, I'm going to design you a t-shirt. All Pauls are dickheads, are shitheads, but all Pauls are correct. I love that. I love that. It's nearly as good as spreadsheets and milds. Yeah, I think I'm due a break from the alcohol. Although I didn't touch a single beer yesterday, so got to give me some credit. I'm only doing this tonight because I'm off, to be fair. Need some Gads revisits from you, Terry. I think you're wrong there, Paul. LOL. I've had a couple of Gadsby's. Me and Paul had quite a disappointing, was it a pale ale, in one of the Wetherspoons in Manchester. Oh, and Paul's just repeated his initial comment of telling Terry to revisit some Gads. He's a northerner, is Mr. Gad. No, Paul, we had a very disappointing Gads beer in Wetherspoons. Bloody hard to get hold of Gads, mate. Okay. Design me anything you want, brother. I certainly will. How about I design you a new face? Joke. I'm going to need some merch out. Yeah, I'd love to release some merch. It'll never sell, and that's the whole point. Clueless Drinker sucks. I can think of some good sort of like neon 80s ideas for that. I've seemed to have stolen the spreadsheets and Spreadsheets of Milds comment that got mentioned in the live stream that everyone did. Libidomania. I've got some good ideas for merch for Libidomania. Oh no, Gad's let you down. Mr. Gad, we're not angry, we're just disappointed. Clueless Drinker Top Shelf. That's a good slogan. Going to take that. Going to do some typographic designs with that. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be just cool to like design a Clueless Drinker t-shirt or something like that. I don't have the subscriber base or viewership to warrant merchandise, but it'd just be fun to do it. Take this multimedia. Do some nice badges. I'd like some Clueless Drinker badges. Or like business cards or stickers that I could put around various places that I drink. Try and get myself back up to 666 on the subscriber count. Lost about 5 subscribers in a week. I was like, what have I done? What have I said? But YouTube's one of those things. They're always sort of like deleting dead channels and stuff. But it's like I've always said, subscriber count doesn't mean anything to me. I just love the fact that I get regular faces and people showing up on the live streams and in the comments, and that sort of like regular viewership. I find that much more rewarding than like chasing a subscriber count. I was thinking the same thing about merchandise. I have no creativity, but it's fun. Do you know what? I'm just going to be a whore and I'll design anyone's merchandise. When I say design, it's just going to be crude pen and ink drawings that you can't really put onto a t-shirt because you need to vectorize it. Got some good stuff to talk about in Libidomania. Definitely. And I need to get Halloween, Paul. I don't know what your plans are, but I'm thinking of doing a live stream at some point on Halloween. And I think it'd be really good to get input from someone like yourself, even if it's just to drop by for a few minutes to discuss some horror films or whatever. I'm only 3 followers away from 666. That's 3 very unlucky women on a Saturday evening in a field with stones, wicker statues, and fire. I will sacrifice a virgin when I hit 666. Because I've been getting really into paganism recently. I know that's very awkward to link paganism to virgin sacrifices, but I've become very interested because a lady in work turned around and said she was a pagan. She gave me some life advice, which I'm yet to put into practice. So if you're ever getting harassed by Jehovah's Witnesses, apparently the one thing you need to say to a Jehovah's Witness to make them leave you the fuck alone is all you have to say is, I'm a pagan. The more you know. Virgin Witch, Sex of the Witch, and Foreign Folklore film box sets coming in the mail. Ooh, very nice. Very nice indeed. There's actually a documentary that's been doing the rounds on the festival circuit to do with sort of like what's the word, like folk horror, I think is the main term. Let me just have a look, because I'm sure it might be on some online platforms, or if you're the sort of person who does that, not necessarily saying I do it, but it might have been released. Why did I search folk horror discography? Documentary, not discography. Yeah, there's a documentary called Woodlands Dark. Start again. Woodlands Darkened Days Bewitched: A History of Horror Folk. Oh, nice. Severin Films. Do you know what? I'm going to try and find. Can you play YouTube videos from a URL on StreamYard? Let's see. Woodlands Darkened Days Bewitched trailer. No, I don't want to install YouTube. So how am I going to play this? Sounds like an awesome documentary. I've been following the the official page on Instagram. Let's see if I can do this. Video file. Oh, and I think I've crapped out StreamYard. No, I think I'm still live. No, that's asking me to play a file. Let's have a look. Play YouTube video. No, not your ride. YouTube. YouTube video stream yard. How do I put YouTube videos on StreamYard? Add your YouTube channel on StreamYard. You can do this on your dashboard. Create a broadcast on YouTube. Right-click video selection. No, I don't. That's not what I want. How am I going to do this? Received 2 handwritten letters from the local Jehovah's Witness in the past 2 months. Their work ethic is impressive. Yeah, they're committed. I'll give them that. They are committed. How am I going to do this now? I suppose I could try and use the audio from my phone. I'm going to figure this out, actually, because it's quite interesting. Oh. Did that work? Oh God. Did that actually work? I mean, the trailer itself wasn't much to write home about, but it sounds good, that documentary, doesn't it? I like a good film. I sound like Seaside Mark then. I like a good film. Could you hear the trailer? I'm just going to wait till you answer. I'll happily sit here in silence. No sound. Oh, for fuck's sake. The only way I could probably show it is by downloading it and then just playing it. But I know Harry plays YouTube videos. But I'm not too sure how he plays it with the sound. What's that box set called, Paul? Severin Folk Horror. Do you know what? I've never seen Blood on Satan's Claw. But she's fit as fuck, that woman. Fucking hell, $170. How many films do you get? I wonder if the UK will get like an abridged. Oh, you get Blood and Satan Claw. Yeah, you get the documentary and that. Yeah, you get the documentary with it. Fucking hell, $30 for international shipping. Ah, the bundle's only for the American market. Oh no, hang on a minute. Man, that looks like a really good box set. That looks beautiful. I'd like to think that a company like Arrow or something like that would do something similar. It'd be a real shame if they don't. And it's got A Field in England in it. A Field in England's great. I love that film. But yeah, I don't know what. It was before I started doing the Libido Mania Halloween stuff. Fuck. Bear me one sec. What did I watch? I watched this box set a few weeks ago. Well, revisited it. Vampire Lovers and Lust for a Vampire. I think I might have discovered a potential fetish that I have of nubile, attractive, primarily European women just dressed in loose-fitting white gowns. But yeah, Lust for a Vampire. Mate, that's just like, will show you tits for no reason whatsoever aside from we're showing you tits. I mean, obviously I need to upgrade this bare bones DVD set that I have. Jesus. And this is one that I'm probably going to be revisiting. I might watch it tonight, actually. Twins of Evil. My God, the twins in this. No, I can't even excuse my perverted nature with stuff like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. That artwork that looks like it was a black and white illustration that's been coloured in with a child with Crayola pens. Not the best way to promote the film, but I think there's a nice release of that. I think there's a really good release of the Vampire Lovers using like the original like poster. But that was like Hammer when it was like tiny bit sleazy just to sell. Don't have watched Vampires. I really need to get on to like these classic pagan folk horror films. I've not even watched, and Paul, you're probably going to be absolutely disgusted with me if you don't want to talk to me after this. That's absolutely fine. But I've not watched Witchfinder General all the way through. Helga Line is a goddess. Watch Lorelei's group. Man, just that whole sort of like, there's something about women in period dressing that's just like, okay, calm down. But yeah, I had a right good time watching those. The Conqueror Worm. Yeah, Paul, you definitely have to jump in on the Halloween stream that I'm doing. This is so fucking good. Such a good beer. But yeah, I've somehow stretched this out to 2 hours, so I'm gonna end this stream here. So I do very much appreciate. Keep looking at the fucking MacBook as if it's the main camera. Do apologise. Very happy I've got another can of that. Anyway, so the main crux of this video. Rudgate Battleaxe. Old School Brewery, or Old School Brewing, is it? I can't remember. Old School Brewery, head teacher, headmaster. Beautiful stuff, lovely stuff, both high quality. This just cinches it for me. And yeah, and then I finished off with a Common Grounds, and then a Canometric, and I think that's not a bad way to end a Monday evening. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Thomas, for joining me. Looking forward to more of your live interviews. Always enjoy those. Chris, thank you for joining me. Paul, fellow degenerate, perverted genius. Thank you also for joining me. Thank you, Terry, if you're still here, for watching. Thank you, Craig H. And thank you to anyone who's watching this. The shadow watchers in the background, lurking. And also for those who watch the playback of this, why you'd put yourself through nearly 2 hours and 15 minutes of just an overweight blonde guy sat in front of the camera. I don't know, but for some reason people do it. Night night, Paul. And yeah, cheers for watching. You all take care. You all stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for watching. Oh, and also Brett. I don't know if Brett's gone already, but thank you for joining, Brett. Anyway, cheers for watching, folks. You all take care. Stay safe, and I shall see you all later. Cheers.